Yo, 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 no maniacs. Welcome to the show. This is Nomad Live, all bears all the time, in conjunction with Sports Zone Chicago and the
Yeah,
Super.
yeah.
Greg Sierra, who was just at the opening day yesterday at the White Sox Stadium. We'll get to that in just a second. Give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for being here. Kedz will probably individually shout you out in just a second. Love you guys. And again, thank you for being here. Um, let me get to a quick shout out to a birthday, man. Plank, our number one no maniac, man. His wife's birthday is today, and he's spending some time with her. He wanted to let everybody know before when he came in. You guys didn't see it, but he shouted everybody out and said that he kept this on replay. So enjoy your wife's birthday with her, man. Y'all have a good day. It's beautiful out there. Don't know quite where you are, but it's beautiful where I am today. So enjoy your birthday, your wife's birthday, Plank. Also, man, on a little somber note, we lost one of the great ones, man. Louis Gossett Jr. died today at the age of 87. Um, he's probably the first African American male to win a supporting actors Academy Award, I think.
He was.
Go ahead, Sean. You want to
He,
speak to that?
yeah, he was the first African American to win a supporting actor role. So it's you know, 87 years is a good run. We're definitely going to miss him. He's one of the pioneers of music of movies for and inspired a lot of young black men to get into that field. And man, he's gonna be missed. That's for sure.
No doubt.
Iron Eagle, baby. Rest in peace, Lou Gossett Jr. That's
Yep.
terrible.
Sir. Rest in peace.
I just appreciate what the guy stood for, man. You know, he's one of those people, kind of like Denzel, that didn't take the stereotypical type roles, you know, out there in Hollywood for Brian. Do you got the chat, brother? I can't hear him, but
He's got it, man. Keep going. Rest in peace, Fiddler.
yeah, man. I just appreciate the fact that he never took the stereotypical type roles. A lot like Denzel, man. You know, a lot of the black actors in his time coming up in the business, man. You know, there were a plethora of roles out there for the black exploitation type of actor jobs, and you know, those are very stereotypical type of roles. You know, the pimps, the hustlers, the drug dealers, and you know, all the street type things that you know are stereotyped to black people. I was just, you know, looking back at his career and some of the stuff that I've seen him do. His work, I don't know if I've ever seen him in a stereotypical type of role, and I appreciate that about a black man that's willing to say no to money and fame and fortune just to, you know, make a principled statement. And so I appreciate that about people like him. It says more about him and what he stands for. You know, just trying to set an example for actors that came up after him, man. So I really appreciate that, man. He seemed like a better man, even better man than he was an actor. And that's saying a lot, you know, these days. So rest in peace to Lou Gossett Jr. Anybody else want to fill in any of that? You can. Nobody? Good. All right. So let's get to some Bears, man. Let's get to some Bears. Kids, we got some updated 30 visits, man. I'm about to piss Canuck off. I'm going to tell you that right now. We had
Imagine that.
We had two quarterbacks on the 30 visit. You know what? Let me slow my butt down a little bit because I told Sean I was going to let him speak to opening day and how that was out there at the stadium. You want to speak to that, Sean?
Yes. Sorry about that, dude. I had a quick situation over here. No, repeat what you said for me, dog.
No, I just wanting to see if you fill him in on how opening day was over at the Sox Stadium.
Oh yeah, so opening day was good, except for the loss. Except for the loss, you know, I got to see. You know what? I saw a friend of mine that I haven't seen in 7 years, 10 years, give or take. She walked right through the tailgate. So it was really good. A lot of people I hadn't seen in a year or since last opening day. So it was fun. A lot of my people. So it was good to see. Good. And it was a great game, except for the fact that it was only 2 hours. Man, it was 1-0. So obviously there's no 3 hits by the White Sox. Pitches, the innings are moving, man. They gave last call. I'm like, whoa. It was an hour and a half into the game. I was like, you have to be kidding me. It was 2 hours and 3 minutes was the game. And so, Yeah, it was a fast game. I'm like, is Mark Burley on the mound? What the hell? What's going on with this craziness, man? It was, but unfortunately, the White Sox couldn't muster up a run. Only 3 hits. But the weather was nice. It was a little nippy, not too bad. But it was
Sean,
good, man.
they're saying you might have an echo. You got your echo cancellation on?
Let me see.
But
I think I did. Let me see. Yeah, I do have it on. I do have the echo cancellation on. Um, so I'm not sure if I still have. Do you guys hear an echo?
a little bit.
Oh shoot.
It's not bad, man. Continue on.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah, it was fun, man. It was fun again, just seeing people and uh, I had my little plastic flask, the plastic flask that I told you guys about. That came in handy.
What you put in it?
Tito's.
Tito.
Filled it up with Tito's. I was able to get 2 big cups of Tito's and 7 Up. So it was good, man. It was a good time, real good time.
I know. Did you eat one of those $30 brats in there?
No. So I ate beforehand. I ate at the tailgate outside because I wasn't giving him. I was trying to give him as little of my money as possible.
What you get a hold of out there?
So we had some arrachera, some skirt steak. They had some brats. Right before I left, I had what did I eat yesterday? I ate something before I left the house, and yeah, so I was good. I was full. I didn't have to worry about food. I was hungry after, so we went back to Output. Had a couple wings there, and then called it a night, man. It was a long day for your boy yesterday. A long day.
All I know is when I get up in that stadium, there's something about, man, when them dudes come down that aisle with them ice cold big old cans of Modelo. I got to have one. I'm sorry, at $12, probably about $12. I got to have one of them big babies, man. When it's like, because it seems like I never went to the stadium, especially that one, where it wasn't scorching hot. I mean, just cooking. And I'm always somewhere in a seat arrangement where the sun is just whooping you all day.
You're in the bleachers.
Oh yeah, man. And I always end up. I gotta have me a couple of those big tall cans of Modelo, no matter how much they cost me. I've never won. Well, since I've been an adult, rather. But yeah, man, I go for that kind of stuff. It's really not the game. I go for the, just hanging around, drinking the beer, eating the brats and nachos and all that crap in there, pizza. That's what I go for. I'm gonna end up spending over $100, but it's worth it.
No, so I didn't get the campfire shake. Let's just say we were really happy walking into the stadium. All right, we definitely had a couple of drinks, smoked a cigar, and tell you I didn't even think about the campfire shake. I just kind of
What's that all about? Am I lost there?
yeah. So there's a brand new shake because see the Sox think they're slick. Okay, the Sox have always had one of the top 5 major league ballparks. They've been listed in the top 5 for food of all 30 major league teams. Always have phenomenal food.
Yes, they do.
All right, and so and they keep adding stuff every year. And this new thing was like a big old shake. They call it a campfire shake. And man, it was they promoted it on Facebook, Instagram. It was man. I didn't get it though. Like I said, I was good as far as food goes, and then I was a little preoccupied, a little happy. I had quite a few.
Well, I always enjoy it, man. Whether win or loss, man, I enjoyed it. Like someone just said, the ambiance of it, Lord Crimson. It is the ambiance of it. It's just
Yes.
Ball game type of behavior. I go there for the food and the drinks and, talking a little crap to everybody and stuff. Just hanging out, man. That's what I enjoy doing when I go there. It's not about the win or the loss. For me, it's nice when you get a win, but if it's not a win, I go away from there happy every time. But
like I said, bro, it was good to see like I said, I saw people that I hadn't seen. I saw my friend Vanessa. I haven't seen her in about 7-10 years, give or take. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm talking about. So, hanging out with with family, with friends, seeing people you haven't seen in a while, man, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, that last time I was there was a couple years ago. We got to take my pops out for his last Sox game. Yeah, at that time, he was health was declining pretty bad. Mobility was getting a little bit sideways. He was still moving around pretty good, but it's just at that age, he's a 80-something-year-old man. He got to get him to the bathroom. If you can get him there on time and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was we said as a collective, me and my uncles who are pretty much my brother, we said together, hey man, we can't bring him up here no more, man. Can't do that no more. As much as we want to, it's a kind of impossible task, man. It's trying to get him to a bathroom on time.
Yeah.
We almost had a situation. But yeah, R.I.P. Pops, man. I'll always remember him when I go to when I go to those stadiums, man. I can't help but to do that because he brought me up in both there and the Cubs stadium. So, and I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. Wish I could have enjoyed it with you. But here I go about to piss off the Canuck because yesterday he took issue with the fact that we had two corners. I think it was two corners on the 30 visits. And Kedz was like, hey, man, what the HE double hockey sticks are we doing bringing corners in for a 30 visit? It's like a waste of time. We just drafted two corners. Pose, what the hell are you doing? Well, guess what? They just added another corner to the 30 visit list, kids. Mr. Cam Hart from Notre Dame, man. So take that.
Wow.
You're on mute, man.
Man. Okay. You know what I mean? Clearly, this man is going to do what he's going to do, but I don't. I just don't see the validity here, man. I don't see why you would do that. There's other areas of need. The only answer that I can give you is best player available. And in some circumstances, a guy like Cam Hart at 122, if he's still around, would potentially be best player available to them. But man, yeah, I don't. It's what one would call overkill. That's kind of what I would say there. It's a little bit of overkill. There's a lot more, and again, not to knock the talent of any one of these corners. Got nothing to do with them or their talent. The DBs this draft are actually really nice guys, and I have to say that there's a pretty, safety's pretty deep, corner is pretty deep. They can find some talent a little bit later in the draft, but that's not a hole that we have to fill right at this present time. It's sort of like, you know what I mean? If you're renovating the kitchen and you got your, you got your fridge in there, you got your coffee maker, cupboards are all stocked, but you bought 4 fridges and just totally keep forgetting to purchase the stove. We'll get the stove later on. Don't worry about it, we'll get the stove. But like this fridge is super nice. It's got got an ice maker. You know what I mean? I don't know.
So the idea of moving a corner to safety, that doesn't really register with you, huh?
Well, there's safeties too. Like I'm saying, right? No, that doesn't register with me. There's safeties available in the draft. Like Oladapo is going to go relatively late. We went through the safeties. The safeties are actually really nice. There's some linebackers this season that could also play safety in a major way. James Williams, Peyton Wilson is another guy like that. There's draftable depth there, yes, but he's forgetting the stove.
I think. Go ahead, Keith. You want to respond to that?
Yeah, I think me personally, I think he may just be looking for some insurance because JJ typically doesn't play no more than 13 games a season. So I don't know if he completely is comfortable with the depth that he has at the position. Just feels like he needs to make sure, if nothing else, which would provide him the necessary safety valve or insurance policy for JJ, which then goes back to what I was saying regarding, and I know I'm getting off the subject, this needing to make sure that we solidify the DN because of Mr. Sweat. On top of the fact that we really need to make sure that we got the other side covered, So I don't know, man. Poles is kind of making some moves, or at least giving some indication that is it a possibility that he is still looking to gather more picks, or is he going to start using draft capital from the next season, not the upcoming season, but 2025, to use some of its draft capital to move up in the draft and get some pieces? I don't know. We don't know. Only time's going to tell. But I think the only reason why he's probably even entertaining bringing a corner in to the building for the 30 visit is just to give him one additional insurance policy for either one of them, whether it be JJ or Stevenson for that matter, because I think Stevenson missed a couple games last season as well. So, that's the only thing I can see. Other than that, I'm with you, kids. It don't make much sense, but I mean, hey, man, you know what we say, what makes sense doesn't make sense in some cases.
In some cases.
Go ahead, Sean.
No,
How's your kitchen, Sean?
I don't.
You do have a stove, right?
You got a stove in the kitchen.
I got a stove. I got a micro. I got a
You know what I'm
air
saying?
fryer.
I don't know.
Got it all.
You got it all. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
You got a juicer and all that, right? Blender?
No, we got the ninja. The ninja.
You got the ninja.
Yeah.
Ah.
So we got a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. Poles, I'm not a little concerned about him. And again, is this all a ploy? All right, bringing in cornerbacks when that's one of your strongest areas. He likes to do the old look away, type assist or draft pick. So we're gonna see. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't know. I mean, we do need a DN, but again, are we trying to get everything this year? We have tons of draft capital next year. I don't know. What DN do you want to go get? He's kind of. I hope he's not outsmarting himself, because sometimes you just go after. I mean, if you cover everybody, like all the DNs, all the corners, you know what I mean? Or the most likely ones you'll take, then it's still difficult for you to decide, for people to discern who you're interested in. So I don't know. Again, I just hope he's not getting too cute.
I'm glad you said it and I didn't, brother. I'm glad you said it and I didn't, because I was thinking it and you said it. So
Me too.
the Jedi mind trick.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it makes, and I just believe coaches and GMs when they say they're going to do something. I heard Flute say they're going to keep drafting corners, and I believe that. Because I know how valuable the corners are to what they have to do on defense. Do they need?
Says a DB.
Of course. But it all depends. You got to think about it, though, man. I know you guys wouldn't want to consider that.
No, I'm
maybe
with you.
They are actually thinking about putting one of those corners at safety. And if you do that, you need the backfield. And so, who knows? I don't know exactly what they have planned. But if they do not, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just saying, why would they do that when they could just draft a pure safety?
So they don't have to.
So they don't have to.
But then they have to draft a cornerback.
Maybe they think the cornerback position is better in this draft. I told you guys I thought the cornerback position was really deep.
Or let's think about this. They play, in often cases, they play a lot of nickel, but maybe they anticipate playing a lot of dime packages.
No, I think it's just the value of the cornerback class. I think the cornerback class is very, very, when I say very talented, I mean very talented. One of the deeper classes in the draft. So it makes sense to me that if you consider moving one of your corners to safety, draft another one. You already picked up a couple of safeties in free agency, so I'm pretty sure that they're not looking at drafting a safety right now.
But kids, remember now, we're talking to Nomad, who is real big on making sure that we have enough corners and running backs. So remember that.
Why is this?
Like I'm two positions that I'm pretty sure we really like. What's funny is them choosing the running back was signal number one that they were flushing out Justin Fields. And we probably should have focused a bit more on that than on the running back. But that was definitely the first clear indication. Outside of that, I just it's got everything to do with the number of picks they have. We do have an extra second, I believe, and maybe a couple of extra later round picks for next year. I would not be surprised if they trade into this draft and maybe secure, I don't know, third rounder or something, whatever they can secure with a second to do a little bit more damage. And if the damage they want to do is at the cornerback position or safety position, I get it. In that scenario, it makes much more sense. But without that capital, without that draft capital, I just don't see. I don't see drafting at the corner position right now as being, by any stretch of the imagination, a priority. The same thing could be said for defensive tackle. And just to sort of put that out there, they hit two defensive tackles. Do I think maybe we might need another one? Yeah, maybe. But to me, that that just falls into luxury category, right? The DT is a bit of a luxury, given the amount of. You know what I'm saying? Strictly given the fact that we've only got 3 picks outside of a quarterback. So you gotta pick and choose, and there are some glaring holes that require that need to be plugged. We can, like I said, we can ignore the stove and buy more fridges, or you can just buy a stove.
Hey, Shawn, you want to answer? Creighton had a quick question for you.
Yeah, I don't remember what he said. He said, "Well, what was it that Waldron said he wants at quarterback?" Yeah, I don't recall what it was that he said that he wanted. So if you could put, I don't recall.
He probably heard me say that they was asking Kerry Joseph at the Senior Bowl what he's looking for in a quarterback.
Kerry Joseph said he wanted a guy with a quick release.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. I don't know.
Yeah, and that was the sign at that point. I mean, that was an omen right there. So.
All I can say is everything you said was basically not really Justin Fields. Like it didn't really smell or look like Justin Fields when he was done talking. Same with Flus too. It really didn't speak to Fields. He talked about the fourth quarter. A couple things along the way.
Make me want to look at film on Kerry Joseph and see what his quick release looked like.
Oh man, that's cold, man. You gotta
that is cold. That is cold.
Messed up.
Hey,
so let me continue.
Put it out there. Boom.
Let me continue to irritate the Canuck a little bit because I told the guys that yesterday.
Pick on Kedz Day.
No, we ain't really pick on them. We talked about some guys that were here on the 30 visit, and one guy that I thought that I might have scouted out kind of a little bit. Elijah, what is Elijah's last name? I think it's Elijah Jones, one of the cornerbacks that came in out of Boston College. And so I looked through my list of corners. I did not have him. I had not scouted him. So I did a little bit of work on him. And I got some notes for you guys. Elijah Jones, 6'2", 185. Last season, 18 solo tackles, 1 forced fumble, 5 INTs, 9 pass deflections. Ball hawk.
Yeah, around
extremely
the ball a lot.
long. What's that?
I said around the ball a lot.
Oh yeah, he's around the ball. Extremely long. Plays very well in zone coverages. So I know you can definitely see why they value him, that length and his ability to play zone coverage is really nice when you look at him on tape. He's decent in off-man coverage. So off-man coverage meaning that you're playing man-to-man, but you're 5 to 7 yards off the ball. And so I think he needs some technique work in his tight man coverage.
Well, why go at him? You can look at Quinyon Mitchell.
Quinyon Mitchell,
yeah, that would if you're gonna look at somebody to fit your corner that's gonna fit more of your zone scheme, that would be the guy I would target, man. I mean, I get it. He's coming from Toledo, but the dude his numbers are pretty much almost identical, bro. He's a ball hawk.
Mitchell will probably be the first cornerback taken.
They know they ain't gonna be able to get him. They're probably bringing him. They're looking down the line a little bit, 118 or 113, wherever the hell they at. This is like Quinyon Mitchell he'll be long gone, brother. Here's another little note I got for him, man. He's a long, lanky 184, 185, 6'2". He's definitely, I mean, when I say definitely gonna need to put on about 7 to 10 pounds, man.
He needs
to
some
to frame.
burritos.
He needs to do something, but he needs some lean muscle to that body, man. You see him on film and you'll see that right away. You can see why they value him, that length and his ability to play off ball and playing his own defenses. He's got some nice intangibles to him. So Elijah Williams, Boston College, man, check him out, guys. If you want to get a little bit of notes on him yourself, just check him out. But here we are let me see here. We have some meetings that happened that I don't know if we were able to report on so far. So they met with Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt, Jackson Powers Johnson, Liatu Latu, Brendan Rice, Cedric Van Pran. Anybody want to speak to any of those? Any surprises there?
No. Those like you need to look at all of them.
Yeah.
They brought in
those are a bunch of holes right there. Right there's your center. There's your tackle. I'm just saying, but
there's definitely a stove there.
We're gonna call them stoves moving forward.
There's definitely a stove there. That's the dog.
Yeah, there's some stoves
whether it's a 4-eye or a 5-eye, there's definitely some stoves there.
There's some stoves right there. I don't know. I'm into Van Pran because I don't suspect JPJ will be around where we're gonna pick. I believe we have 75, which is third round. Hopefully Van Pran is still kicking around at that point. If not, then they got to look at Tanner. Tanner, I'm gonna butcher this last name because I'm just not. I think it's Bortolini. It sounds like some level of
Bortolini. You were right.
Bortolini, but in any, I liked him. I thought he performed really well at the combine. He looked strong and fast for all intents and purposes. So he's probably closer to that 122 pick as opposed to 75. But if they don't get a center at 75, they're pushing their luck a little bit.
Yeah, I like the fact that I think they're gonna, depending on if they accumulate more, even if they didn't accumulate more, it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't. It would surprise me if they didn't draft their future center somewhere down the line in this draft. Because the center position is another, I think, is a deep spot. It's a deep position group, and I like the guys that we have, but I think you need to get somebody and get him from the ground up and just kind of get him calibrated from a rookie all the way up until when he's prepared to play. And later on down the line, when I guess when Ryan Bates plays well, you don't have to pay him a lot of money. You can just let him go because you got a rookie on a rookie contract. So to me, it's smart to draft the center if you can get some extra draft capital. I mean, I don't know if they want to use it with the 4 picks that they have, but hey, it'd be nice to see it. All right, so let's talk about what was that? Hassan Reddick, I think you said, Keith, ended up going to the Jets for a third rounder. You want to talk about that?
Good trade. The Jets is just making sure that they gonna beef up that defense, man. Like good move for them, I guess. I don't care. It's the Jets.
Yeah, I'm with you. Did they lose? Did they lose anybody on defense? Any big names on defense?
Not that I could recall.
Man,
I couldn't recall anything.
No, they got a squad. They got a squad defense. I mean, tough D.
Yeah,
so
they're gonna be stout. They definitely gonna be stout. No, I guess maybe they think Aaron is gonna be on point.
If they can protect him, he will be. It's about that simple. And that defense is dangerous. So
defense is real good.
We'll see what happens over there in New Jersey. Call it Misfit Island, but that's a whole other story.
Let me find the FFG real quick. FFG says, come on, Brian, leave that up there for a second.
I got you.
Nomad and Crew, would you be upset if we traded back to get more picks and pass on Caleb to have a great O-line and for the QB and to have in the draft?
No, we would love that. I would not be upset at all.
FFG, I think some of the fan base will be more upset than we would be. Clearly, know, we were all in for trading the pick and getting the haul because I think on tape, and I feel pretty good about saying this, that there's not a big difference in Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels to me, in my opinion. But it's all about what they value at Howard's Hall. Do they think Caleb is the generational prospect that everybody says he is? That's the question. So I might feel good with it because I know the value in Jaden Daniels. If we missed Caleb Williams and drafted him and drafted Jaden, I wouldn't be upset whatsoever because I saw what I saw on tape, and I think there's reason to believe that there's not much drop off, or if any at all, in the difference between them. And so, yes, I would be happy if they got a plethora of picks, but I'd also be happy if they drafted Caleb Williams. I'd be okay with that. Go ahead, kid.
Yeah, I think Chris said it for me, man. You know what I mean? Chris jumped in, the dog whistle was blown, he heard it, he came flying in, and basically said we love it. And again, it has no identity politics here. It has nothing to do with Caleb at all, in my opinion. I was talking about this stove. Yo, you get a whole bunch of stoves. A whole bunch of stoves. That kitchen, you have 6 chefs in the kitchen just cooking it up. It's crazy. But I don't see that happening at this point. I just don't. It doesn't sound like that's happening. You don't trade your quarterback out in that scenario. That's just me. You do if you have already negotiated a deal. If the deal was already consummated, then yeah, you get rid of your quarterback and you move forward. That's it. At this point, don't see that happening. I see movement with the 9th pick. I see potential movement with the second, with our number 2 pick from the Panthers next year, moving into this draft. That's about it.
Shout out to kids for working hard on trying to get this GE endorsement. Talking about stoves the whole time, but he's gonna get it sooner or later. We could use that. But go ahead.
Samsung makes stoves too, man. Samsung was good looking out. Samsung.
I'm definitely not against that for the simple fact, I'm real been adamant about we need to be drafting and we need to be gathering picks for the future. More importantly, for this season, especially to really address the primary holes that we have that still need to be addressed, as well as adding depth. However we can do that, I would much rather us do it this season because I know everybody say, oh, well, now, especially now that we don't have Justin, oh, well, it's resetting the clock. No, it's not. As far as I'm concerned, it really pushed the clock because you won 7 games last season. So I'm not expecting anything less than 7 wins this year. And I'm not going to be satisfied with just 7. I think this team is set up to win at least 10 games, which we would add 3 more games on top of that, if not 4. So if he can definitely trade back, whatever picks he used to trade back to gather more draft capital for this coming season to address the necessary depth and holes that need to be taken care of, absolutely do it. Shawn, what you think?
Yeah, I wanted the haul, but you traded Justin Fields, and I wanted to trade the pick for the haul, and keep Justin Fields. So trade the pick for the haul, and then what do you get? All right, it was trade the pick for the haul for to keep Justin Fields. I don't know what he's going to do. I still think he's going to. I mean, maybe trades 1 to 2. Maybe that's still going down, like some people suggest. With the Commanders, I don't know, but it just when he traded Justin Fields, it's just like okay, it seemed like he was intent on taking Caleb Williams. Now that has changed a little bit. All right, it's still not a done deal, although many people, from certain places will say it's a done deal. There's a lot of things that intimate it's a done deal. Okay, but then again, the thing we have to remember is that it's lying season. Okay, it's still lying season. So even though Poles talks about install, well, what did they install? You know what I mean? You can say something to the media to throw them off. Maybe he just when he's installing, just some random plays and not necessarily. I mean, the term install means you're installing your offense. All right, that's what the term means. But it doesn't mean that Flukes won't drop it just to be a red herring. I just don't trust. Not that I don't trust, but you just can't fully believe everything they say because it's lying season. Maybe they're trying to throw someone off. I don't know. They're really, really mysterious, and they got me this year. I'm really trying to figure out what it is that they're trying to do. You know, the Chargers trading Herbert to the Bears so they could jump up to number 1 to get JJ. That's still in play. People are like, oh, they'll never do that. Okay, well, that's still a possibility. You know, Jim Harbaugh loves him some JJ McCarthy, so we'll see. So I don't know, man. It's Ryan Poles has done a great job of keeping everybody guessing, myself and this panel included.
All I can tell you, man, is I kind of I said this last night, and by the way, you guys, if you hadn't checked out last night's I think it's Chicago Sports Podcast, my guy Brandon Hyatt did his show last night, and they talked about this kind of in depth, and I talked about quite a bit of it, and it was about, you know, like I don't have any concerns about Caleb Williams as far as his physical ability whatsoever. I think he's elite. His physical ability is pretty elite. I just worry about
describe his physical ability.
His arm talent is elite, man.
Okay, you say arm talent. Don't say physical ability.
I said arm talent, man. I can say that, can I?
No, but you said physical ability first, and I just asked.
I think most people
physical ability.
I think most people understand what I meant by that. What we were talking about last night was, and I do really feel I kind of feel bad for Caleb Williams because the amount of pressure he's going to be under. I do, man. I would feel that way about any rookie, man. Any rookie. Because in my world, the way I see it, any young quarterback coming in the league shouldn't be really thrust into action right away. We know that's not going to happen here. We know he's going to be thrust into action right away. It's almost unfair to me, man. I don't care who the rookie is, but a quarterback, I think they need time. There's a reason why Green Bay constantly pushes out nice quarterbacks because they give them time to grow. They've been in the same system since the 90s with Mike Holmgren, and they just give their quarterbacks time to grow. And when they're ready, they push them out on the field. That's the part that worries me, man. It's someone that's coming into a place like this with all the hype surrounding him, all the expectations surrounding him. He's got to win fast. And I don't know how fair that is for him. You know, I don't care what all the hoopla is and the fact that Justin Fields in here. Put that stuff to the side. He's going to be our quarterback more than likely, and he's going to be under a whole bunch of pressure real early to produce. And I just don't know how fair that is.
Man,
fair.
Yeah, you clearly wanted to ruin my weekend. So here we go. At the end of the day, I've already had this particular, I've already had this rant with you guys. That's half the reason why I wanted to keep Fields out. A lot less to do, in my personal opinion, with his ability on the football field. He'd been there. He's doing it. If you really wanted to draft a quarterback and have him sit and wait and learn, I would be all for that too. I'm not one to throw a quarterback to the wolves. Like, that's not something that I would suggest. For any organization, our organization just happens to do it once every 3 to 4 years. It's a little bit of an annoyance for me personally, but feel free to take a look at how well it works out. Across the NFL, probably one of the worst ideas in football. But let's do that. I don't know, Bishop. Yeah, I kind of got to leave it there.
Okay, I can understand not wanting him to be tossed into the fire. I get it. He's a rookie. He's also a first-round pick, touted to be the number 1 pick, with titles attached to him as generational, with comparisons to gentlemen like Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. So, and he's not going. It's not like he's going to college. He's getting ready to go to the pros. So he's signing up and he's being hired to be the CEO of the team. Therefore, he's got some shoes to fill. He's got to come in and get the job done. So, do I feel sorry for him? No. And that's just me. And it has nothing to do with his predecessor. It has everything to do with what comes along with that billing. When you are billed as that guy, then you got to be ready to be that guy now. They put all the pieces in place to assure that he can hit the ground running. Prove it. And now is the time. I don't feel sorry for him. But no, let me back that up. Let me rephrase that. I do, because we have an organization that has yet to prove that they can develop at that position. But with the billing that's attached to him, I expect for him to come in and be that dude. Just that simple. Shawn, to you.
Yeah, I said, 10 wins. He's got to win. I mean, this team is ascending. You could have had up to 10 wins last year, and you're stepping into a situation that's different. It's different for any number one overall pick that's a quarterback. It's the best situation. All right. I mean, there's only like 2 or 3 other teams in the NFL who have a situation as good as this. All right. Minnesota. All right. You got a good play caller. You got 2 stud receivers in Addison and JJ. All right. You got the Aaron Jones. You got the tight end. I was going to say Carl Mecklenburg, but tight end from Minnesota, TJ Hockenberg, I think.
Hawkinson.
Right? Him too.
Yeah.
TJ Hawkinson. So you got, that's another nice situation too. All right. There's a couple situations, man. But Caleb, if Caleb is drafted because of what everybody has hyped him up to be, we need to get 10 wins. We need to get into the playoffs. Okay. And he's got to be a big part of it, because you're stepping onto a field, like you're stepping into way more talent this year than you had last year as a college with junior. I think he was still only a junior. As a junior in college, you're having more talent respectively than you had last year. So you need to do much. You're going to have to get us at least 10 wins and a playoff berth.
Unfortunately, man, this is what it is, man. This is Chicago. And, there's a lot of pressure on whoever comes in here. And it's looking like it's going to be Caleb Williams. And unfortunately, he's going to have to step right on in there and thrust himself into that position. Situation that they've set up for him pretty nicely so far. There's not a real big reason why, other than, rookie flux. You know what I mean? Like I've said this before. I'll say this again. We didn't see rookie flux in CJ Stroud. But I'm almost guarantee you're gonna run into a lot more than what you didn't see next year, because it's a lot more on film on him. They'll know how to deal with him. They'll know what he likes and what he doesn't like, and there'll be his windows to throw the ball will be significantly tighter. And so you can expect at some point he's going to hit that wall he didn't hit as a rookie. You can almost guarantee you that he's going to run into it, whether it's early in the season, mid-season, late season. He's going to run into that rookie wall that he missed this year. And so for every rookie, I feel like, especially for a quarterback, there's some serious growing pains that he's going to have to do, but he's going to have to be over them, man. And the mental makeup that you need to have as a quarterback leading a franchise in a city like this. This is a city of broad shoulders, man. You got to bring it here, man. And he looks to have the stuff talent-wise. I have no doubt about it. But it's the makeup from the neck up that always worried me with this kid, and that's all I'm worried about. Kedz?
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that, but I'll leave that to the professionals. But I will answer this from Oliver Chapman. Oliver Chapman says, "Kedz, how do you learn how to swim?" Which is a really good question. In the movies, sometimes people grab their kids and just throw them in the water and watch them flail until they kind of figure stuff out. I'm just going to say, if kids were just drowning to death, people would not do that. That's probably not the best idea if that was the actual end result. End results in the National Football League are Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Johnny Manziel. The list is so long of kids who basically drowned to death that that particular metric probably shouldn't be the useful metric. Now, we're going to take a look over into Wisconsin. Just peer into Wisconsin and look at what they've done decade on decade on decade, and then ask the question, how do you develop a quarterback? I'm not a Packer fan, but the blueprint is clear. It's obvious. You can see it. Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Jordan Love. One thing these guys all have in common is that each one of them had to sit behind a superstar quarterback and learn the tricks of the trade from somebody who's not only done it, but does it at a very high level. Just sit back and watch that guy. I'll be surprised if Justin Fields in Pittsburgh doesn't show up as a completely different Justin Fields after sitting behind Russell Wilson and watching the differences between his game and Russell's game. Russell happens to have some of those things Justin just doesn't have. And if you can incorporate that and learn that just by sitting and watching him, drinking it in, I expect to see a much better Justin Fields down the road. And I bet you that's what Mike Tomlin's thinking as well. But yeah, trial by fire isn't the only way to try.
I'm 100% sure this conversation isn't the end of it. We're going to talk about this clear up until game day. I guarantee you, because it's just one of those things that's not going anywhere. The expectations they're gonna rise. They're gonna get more intense the closer and closer we get to the season, and there's no running away from that, guys. And I don't care what you feel about Caleb Williams. I think a lot of them. But, it's just the expectations are going to be real, and it's going to get super intense the closer and closer we get to August, man. So strap up and get ready. But before we get to the next couple of topics, man, let's get a station ID real quick.
The best Chicago Bears content anywhere. Catch Nomad live pregame 1 hour prior to kickoff, and Nomad at night postgame, and every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Central on all the most popular streaming platforms, and only on the Nomad Network.
That is right, you guys. Please, please, please hit that like button. If you have not hit that like button, please do so. And please, if you are new to the show, please consider subscribing to our channel, the Nomad Network, and also Sports Zone Chicago for my guy Shawn Sierra over there. If you have not, and you're new to the channel, welcome to the families. But please consider hitting that subscribe button, because we are on a hard push to get to 2,000. That would make us really happy to get there pretty quick. But we appreciate everybody for supporting us so far, and we love you guys, man. Keep up the good work. Hey, fellas, how about this, man? Because this keeps coming up, man. Actually, let's. It's a few things we need to talk about. There's a rumor being spread by Bleacher Report that there's Jonathan Allen may be on the table for a trade, and people are linking that to the Chicago Bears. I know what Kedz is going to say. We got free retake. What do we need him for? But go ahead and officially.
No, you know what? Like, if you're strengthening the defensive line, whether it's the 3-tech or the edge rusher, I'm a happier guy, because again, it brings more pressure. That's like Jordan Love was running around and back to Packers again. Jordan Love was running around at the end of the last season, and it was just because they put the focus on Montez Sweat. That was it. They double-teamed Sweat and said, let's see what happens with the rest of your line. And the line wasn't able to do it. More pressure, I'm with it, whether it's at the edge position or at the 3-tech. I'm happy.
Go ahead, Bishop.
Hey, I wouldn't be mad. Not at all. Why not? Again, I think the middle of that defensive line is going to be extremely important to be able to get that added pressure.
What do you trade for him, though, Bishop? I just want to see what's on your mind there.
Ooh.
See, that's a tight call. I think
yeah, buddy.
You have to reach into next year's kitty
to get next year's too.
You'd have to reach into next year's cap space too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
He's right.
That's tough.
He's right. They can't even touch that.
Nah.
Wait now.
They can.
What you thinking?
Maybe they could. Well, because there are some heads that are still potentially expendable, for lack of a better word. They could clear up some money here and there if that's what they wanted to do. Like a guy like Chris's favorite guy, Travis Homer. He's 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 on the bubble. There's a couple of guys who are on the bubble that they could make some cap moves to bring in a guy like Jonathan Allen.
I think the only way they could bring him in was to extend him and make the cap number more palatable. You got to keep in mind that they've probably got about 14 to 17 million they're going to have to spend on rookies. So they'd have to, I don't know, they have the available people to cut. They'd have to extend him and make it more palatable. Because
I got it.
20,
I got
20
it.
plus.
I got it. I got it.
What the hell you got then?
You trade the first pick. Trade back. You trade that back.
Keith, man, you better not go grocery shopping nowhere, no time soon.
Man, I don't care. Bring the smoke. Come see me. Pack a lunch. Pack a lunch. Come see me, but pack a lunch.
Pack a lunch and take a bunch.
There's gonna be some old lady hitting you. There's gonna be some old lady hitting you in your head with coin bags.
Hey, look, I don't discriminate. That old lady will get it too, bro.
All right, man. So, hey, Shawn, what do you think about that possibility, man? Do you see that being something that's swingable, man, at all?
Well, excuse me. Yeah, I do. But again, to me, that makes a lot more sense if you include him in a package, for that pick. I think. And then next year, we're talking about next year's package: 2, 4, 6, 8. We got 8 picks next year. All right, round 1, our first round, second round, Carolina, second, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6 via Miami. So we got 8 picks next year. If you wanted, you could trade Carolina's second for next year, or our second for next year, because ours will probably be lower than Carolina's. But they're probably going to want Carolina's because Carolina's going to be higher. But you could do a second for next year and a swap. I don't know. There's so many things you can do, but this is why I'm still befuddled as to why you didn't take the Hulk. I don't know. It's possible, yes. Trade, yes. The cap's going up next year. It was fine. But what we're not going to have then, which is depth. That's the thing that, I don't know.
Just trade back.
That's the thing, man. But then why get rid of Justin?
That's okay. We just take Jaden Daniels.
So I think it's that idea is worth talking about, and I think if he becomes available, and I don't know that he has been or not, if he becomes available, I'll guarantee you that Ryan Poles is going to have to put that under heavy consideration. He's still very, very young. He's still one of your top defensive tackles in the league, and you have to consider that if he becomes someone that becomes available. But we got to move into this next conversation really quickly because this constantly gets thrust on us every single year. And I feel the same about it that I've felt about it since the very beginning. Hard Knocks, man. People are trying to constantly push that on us. I think I'm just going to pass this off to the guys, but I think, look, I make no bones about this. I'm a locker room guy. I can remember the first time seeing a reporter in the locker room, and I was a sophomore in high school. And if you've been in the locker room, it's kind of like a sacred place, man, where all kinds of offhanded conversations happen, kind of like what we do in the green room right after every show, before and after every show. Crazy conversations that people ought not be privileged to. And so I'm opposed to cameras in the locker room. It's a sacred place, and it needs to remain that way. However, I do understand the fan base perspective. They want as much access to all the information that they can get. To them, it's your average fan is just like, give me more, give me more, give me more. But to me, what do you compromise? The authenticity. I just screwed that up. Authenticity of the locker room.
I got you, boss. I got you, Papa.
I appreciate you, Shawn. I love you, man. Great.
Love you too, Nomad.
Hey, man, I don't like that being compromised, kids. Not at all, man. I just think there's a time and a place for cameras, and in that locker room ain't the best place to be. It's just too many bad things that can happen.
Okay, you passing that off? All right. So I think this is the perfect thing. I don't think there could be anything better to ever happen to the Chicago Bears than having that show deep. Oh, I'm serious. I want to. I'm serious. I want to see what's cracking behind the scenes. I want to get a good close look at everybody's personality, how Caleb gels with the new coaching staff from an offensive perspective. I want to see all of that on Hard Knocks. I want to get a little bit closer to the personalities that are now a part of this team that versus the ones who have left. There's no more Eddie Jackson. What is Byard like in that from a locker room perspective? This will give us a lot more eyes on what's actually happening in a situation where they like Poles has basically completely flipped this roster. The roster has been flipped since 3 years ago. I think it's the most opportune time to do this. Doing it next year wouldn't be the same. You got Caleb coming in. If he's the superstar, the rock star that everybody says that he is, I think he would be awesome on the show. I don't know. I'm all for it. I would love to see it. I know McCaskey is totally listening to this and like just smashing his radio/computer right now.
Go ahead, Bishop.
You passing it? Okay. Yeah. Let's look at it like this. If we want making us some pretty good reality TV, then just maybe so. I don't know if this season would be the best season for it, but I mean, what the heck? Entertainment, right? So why not?
It's not just entertainment. He's Poles flipped the script, right?
It's entertainment. Yeah, Poles flipped the script and he opened the door for entertainment. He opened the door for entertainment. And if you're into reality TV, like most are these days, but there is a little caveat. There's a little thing about reality TV everybody don't know. Some of it is scripted. So as much as you can get as much of individuals' personalities from it, it can also be disguised, kids. So we don't never know if the authenticity is truly going to be there. Will it be a disruption to the locker room? Possibly, but it depends on those in the locker room, especially the leadership, as to how is that maintained and controlled. And they can create a controlled environment for it as well. So am I totally against it? Nah, what the heck, man? It's the Bears. What can go wrong? It's the Bears.
A lot.
Shawn.
I'd love to see him on Hard Knocks, but nah. I don't know. I mean, because I just want the Bears to be not exposed, but
as a player, though, Shawn, what's your stance on that? Coming from
a player point of view, no, I don't want no damn cameras in there.
That's what I'm getting at, man. I know you.
We don't know no stinking badges.
Right, you gonna say that? You gonna say the politically correct thing, but deep down as a player, you don't want it.
No, as a player, I mean, part of me as a fan wants to see it, but because I can come at you from a different way, from a coach's perspective, a player's perspective, and from a media personality perspective. Yeah, the media. I want the Bears on. I want the world to see the Bears. All right, see the culture, see and not only that, but it's also good for Chicago because you're going to see the personalities of our players. We don't get to see the personalities of our players. Okay. Remember how when Justin was doing the thing with the podcast with the St. Brown brothers, people were like, wow, I didn't realize Justin's not so robotic. Justin's like pretty cool. Justin, and this is how you get to know and fall in love with your players because you get to see their personality. But as a player, as a coach, I don't want that shit in there, dude. No way. Pardon my French. I'm sorry. But I don't want that in there, dude. I don't want cameras in there. And if I got to yell at somebody, or someone needs to get a chewing out or they, it's no. So it's tough for me because as a player and a coach, no, take that malarkey somewhere else. But as a media guy and as a fan, hell yeah, I want to see that stuff.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tell you my main reason. We're gonna get to the meat and potatoes of the conversation we came here to have about who's going to be available at the 9 pick. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna have some fun with it too. But here's my main reason. I tell you my number one reason overall for not wanting to see cameras in there and them do Hard Knocks, because the whole world will get to see them crummy ass socks that we wear, man, up close and personal. And I'm tired of it, man. I'm embarrassed as a fan. I've been that way for a long time, man. I'm ashamed of my team, man, for having 100-year-old socks still on players in 2024, man. It is making me sick. I'm gonna stay on this crusade. And Junior, don't you say nothing to me today. Now, don't you start with me.
Oh, you missed it. He said stuff earlier on my show.
I can't stand them, and I don't want the world to see up close and personal how hideous those damn socks are, man. So no, I don't want Hard Knocks in our locker room. I'm embarrassed enough as it is as a fan. So hell with that, man. You can keep Hard Knocks. But hey, let's have some fun right quick, fellas, man, because what we came here to talk about is who is available at 9. And we're gonna have a little debate. We're gonna have a debate with each other. Don't get me started, Keith, because I can keep going about that, man.
Oh, we know.
Oh, we saw. We listened. We
Cut
experienced.
it off, man. Don't get me started again, man.
Oh man, we are going to start a socks crusade for Nomad.
Man,
Everybody in the chat, go out and get that man some solid socks, please.
Oh, Armando.
Whether they're blue, orange, or pink,
Just
get him some
pink
socks.
all right, man. We're gonna have to do something about that. I'm gonna write Kevin Warren a letter, man. That's what I'm gonna do. I think I decided what
Leave that man alone. He got better things to do, Nomad. Leave that man alone.
President of football relations want to hear about your socks complaint.
No, the president of the organization.
Hey, man. Hey, Shawn. I'm telling you right now, his bald head ass gonna get this letter now.
My dude is trying to close a multi-billion-dollar real estate deal, and you're hollering at him about socks.
All right, man. Let's get to this number 9 pick. Kedz, Shawn, and the Bishop. This is what we want to do. We're going to each choose, and even Chris when he wants to come in, because I know he's going to have something to say. We're going to choose who we think is the best player available at 9 after Chris mocks the first 8 picks. Now we're going to do the same thing in the chat. So once you see the list of players, tell me who your best player available is. Don't be giving me 1, 2, 3 guy. Nope, just pick one player, and that's all we're gonna do. We're gonna pick one player. I'm gonna have my foot to the fire too. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna let Chris take it from here, and we're gonna see who's available at 9.
Okay, so we're operating this under the assumption that we're taking Caleb, correct?
Yeah.
All right, so we will take Caleb here, and Drake May went second.
Ooh.
Joe Alt.
That just threw everything off.
Okay. We're being offered a 13th and 44, which I would snap that up in a minute if we were doing that.
We ain't gonna take no picks. We ain't gonna take
no
no picks.
I know. I just want to look and see. Oh, look at that. Oh, look, man. I never get all this good stuff on
Oh,
yeah.
Mercy.
This year.
Mercy.
Yeah. Did you
Mercy.
see that, Ken? Look, 12, 11, 13, all. Okay.
All
right. Here we are at 9, and Jaden Daniels is still available. Should we restart this mess?
You probably should, man. You probably should.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie to you, but you probably should.
I think so too. I take Jaden Daniels still.
Was Kerryon Arnold on that cornerback list?
He's still there.
I know he's there. That's why I'm asking the question.
Yeah,
I'm just being a jerk in any event.
not you.
Real quick.
Oh, you did restart it?
Hold on.
Come on now.
Real quick. King Booker World, thank you for the contribution, my man. You guys, come on, get the contributions up. $2 chat. I'm cool with the O lineman at 9. King, which O lineman? Because I'm cool with one too, but I'll tell you which one I'm talking about.
There we go. This looks better. Jaden went second. Drake May. This is definitely more realistic. Okay, so I knew when I saw those trades what was up. So we're at 9. We've taken Caleb Williams. JJ McCarthy is still available, as is Brock Bowers, Dallas Turner, Rome Adunze, Layatu Latu, Talis Fuaga, Jared Verse, Quinyon Mitchell are all available. And
So since you already on the mic, Chris, go ahead and get your virtues off.
Oh, well, you know who I'm going to take.
I
see a big hole on the other side, crossing Montez Sweat. Actually, I would be good with Latu here too, but because of the medicals, and that's not really an issue. I like Jared Verse a little bit better.
Who you taking, Chris?
Jared Verse.
Make the pick, Chris.
So
No.
no, you can't make.
No, we're all going around.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
okay.
gonna go
Okay.
around.
Okay.
So King Booker World said he wants alt. If he's gonna get an O lineman, it's gonna be alt. So shout out
Alt's
to you.
gone.
Oh, so he already gone, man.
Yeah, Alt's
Alt's
gone already.
Alt
Can
will
I make
not
my
be,
pick?
and realistically, Alt will probably not be there at 9.
That's not crazy.
Right. Well, unless someone jumps up for JJ McCarthy, there's a possibility. But
Yes.
since you mind if I go, as you block
Go
me
ahead,
with-
Sean. Go ahead. I'll go after.
You blocked me with Jay Grizz's selection of Jared Verse, and you can't see
Yeah,
my
he
face.
agrees with me.
Eric, we can't trade the pick, Eric. We got to pick somebody. We can't trade.
Give me Roma Dunze. I would take Brock Bowers, but I'd rather have Roma Dunze because we got to cover for Keenan Allen if he leaves next year after that. But Roma Dunze.
Shout out Oliver, man. Thank you for the
Thanks,
contribution.
Oliver. We
Nah.
appreciate
Thank you,
it, bro.
Oliver. Yes, sir.
And so Sean, is you think Romo Dunze is the best player available?
I would take that place. Yes. I don't say best player available. I say that would be the best pick for us.
Now we were just talking about the best player available.
Best player available. Well,
I was under the assumption who we would take for the team, not the best player available.
Yeah.
Right.
So BP,
Right. We're not going to move the goalposts on Sean now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so
No,
BPA would be-
I'm still taking Roma Dunze. Even if he's not the best player available, I'm still taking Roma Dunze.
What do you think, kids?
Well, okay, so BPA would be Brock Bowers. I would not take Brock Bowers here because we don't need a tight end.
What?
Best player available. He's rated number 9. It's just common, just really common sense. If he's rated higher than the person before him, he's the best player available. I would go with the next player because it fills the hole that we need, and I know that Ryan Poles has spent time with this particular player. So I would go Dallas Turner. As much as I like Latu better, as much as I like Verse better, Ryan Poles is doing his own thing. Clearly, he ain't doing what I'm doing. So he's paid a lot of.
But it's short pick though. We're not. I think we're going with who we would pick.
Well, that's fine. I'm doing the Ryan Poles thing here today because every time I do the me thing, it goes sideways. So I'm just gonna go with Dallas Turner and call it a Dallas Turner day. There we go.
Okay.
Bishop.
Well, I'm going to go Verse.
Think he's the best player available, huh?
Second Verse, same as the first.
I think I'm seeing in the chat. I'm seeing in the chat a lot of Romo Dunze. There's a lot of people that agree with you, Sean. I'm seeing also a bunch of alt. I saw a bunch of alt. Who else did I see?
Alt's not available.
Yeah,
Well,
he's gone.
on Monday, I don't want to hear anybody talking about we need a defensive end. When Chris and I said let's go with it, D end. So we don't want to hear it on Monday, y'all. Well, what about a defensive end? We're addressing holes here.
We've donated enough resources to the defense. Enough resources.
Jesus Christ! So what was Keenan Allen?
That's a resource for the offense.
Okay,
I
so
I hope that was a rhetorical question, but because okay. So what was TJ Edmonds, Trayvon Edwards, okay, Sweat. So you got 4 guys over there. Billings. All right, you built up the whole defense. You can't continue to have. I mean, give me some more offensive weapons.
I think
Swift.
at this point, with the number 9 pick, Sean, my reasoning
Garrett.
is that you got to bring a guy in that's got to contribute
Allen.
now, and we've got such a gaping hole on the other side that I mean, if you,
I hear you.
don't, yeah,
DJ.
I mean, my philosophy with wide receivers is, I'm kind of against taking them that high anyway. But you got 2 all-pro caliber guys starting now. I mean, this guy, he's going to eventually contribute.
Right.
But you got a gaping hole on the other side of Sweat.
I wouldn't say gaping hole.
Well,
You're,
who's
you're
over there?
okay. Well,
T-Rob?
let me ask you this: you had the number 1 defense in the NFL for the last 6 weeks of the season. So how is that a gaping hole?
Well,
If that was a gaping hole, that would have been exploited repeatedly. So I'm okay with whoever's on that other side because for the last 6 weeks of the year, and that's
Against
with
the run.
that's with the loss to the Packers. All right.
Sean, that's a good point too, man. By the way,
it's a good.
It was the
point.
number 1 defense against the run.
No,
last 6
overall.
weeks.
Nope.
No,
I
he's
just,
right.
I just believe in a philosophy of building the team from the inside out. And so, I mean, you just can't have enough quality defensive linemen, and we do have a hole on the other side. I mean, Walker, he plays his best ball inside. Um, you pick up a verse or a lot to, and you're set for another 5 to 7 years.
And Chris ain't gonna come off that pick for nothing. That's what
Well,
Probably not. No,
well, and the thing
I
is
think it's
that
sound.
same pick can also, in the event of Sweat's absence, can fill in there as well. We keep
Yeah,
acting like Sweat is made out of steel and he's Superman. If he
Hey, man,
goes down, we're done, dude.
you gotta quit jinxing that, man. I'm finna knock
I'm
on
not
wood.
jinxing him. I live in
yeah,
reality,
that's
bro.
a reality.
I live in
That is
reality,
reality.
man.
I mean, this is a
Come on,
violent
man.
sport, and it can happen at any time. I hope it doesn't, but depth. We need depth, and depth is what wins championships. And so I know we don't have wide receiver depth, but our edge rushing, besides Sweat, we need to continue to build that.
Well,
And Verse or Latu would be. I like them both better than Turner. Turner's a little light. Uh, Verse to me, I see a guy can set the edge. He can bend, and I know some people say he doesn't have burst, but I see plenty of burst from him.
yeah,
I,
Chris,
I
I
see an
gotta
all
ask
pro
you a
down the
question,
road.
man. Because
Mhm.
somebody asked in the chat, they wanted to know if we could do a poll and let them vote. I don't know if we have that tool or option available to do that.
Sure, we do.
We do.
Uh, what are we voting on? We want to.
Best player available at 9.
Yeah, do it on Twitter or something.
Well, we can do it actually in the. Hold on here.
While you
You
getting
guys
that,
continue. Don't wait on me. I'll set it up.
while you getting that cooked up, let me. So we at my call. So who is the best player available under my assumptions? And what I saw on film, saw every last one of these guys here looking at him. I looked at him hard, and I think by far, I ain't gonna say by far, but to me, far and away, the best player available right now, and it's definitely a need in my opinion, is Talise Fuaga.
These walk.
That's the guy I'm getting. Talise Fuaga. That's who I'm drafting right here. Given this situation and the players that I'm looking at right here, and then I'll tell you what I do after that. What I do is to dip into next year's draft capital because I strongly believe that when you're going to get a rookie quarterback, bring him a rookie receiver and pair him up with him so he can grow together. And I'm coming back and I'm going to try to get either Romo Dunze or Brian Thomas Jr. For me, it would be Brian
Wow.
Thomas Jr. I try to dip into my next year's capital and move back up into this part of the draft. That's what I do next. Go ahead, kid. You got an opposition there?
No, I don't because it's really what you know where you would go with this. I don't have any problems with Fuaga. Fuaga's very good. Get somebody to protect your new quarterback. It is not as grand a hole as I believe edge rusher to be. That's just me, but Caleb Williams may think differently, right? So you're really getting something to protect the kid, and I can't blame you for that.
And so I just really think just by the tape, and this is me strictly going by the tape I saw, I think he's the most elite tackle in this draft, and I like quite a few of them. Olu being one of them, Alt being another. I really like even J.C. Latham over in he's a beast, man. J.C. Latham from Alabama, right tackle. And so everybody might want to know, what do you want to get another right tackle for? Because I think either one between Fuaga or Darnell Wright can flip. Because I think they're that talented. But I know what Darnell Wright can do. I know he can play left tackle. That's a fact. Now, if you want to, if Talise Fuaga is more comfortable playing right tackle, then you make the flip. But I think he's got the skill set to play left tackle without a doubt. And so I'm gonna draft that guy because I think he's the most talented guy there. And then I'm just gonna trade back up into it and get the receiver I know that quarterback is gonna need for 10 years down the line. And so that's just what I would do. What I mean? But guys, you can go ahead and take over, man. You guys got any more comments about that while Chris is trying to find a way to
Poll is
He's
up.
already actually got it up. Yeah, there you go, Chris. It's got the poll up. It's rocking and rolling in the chat right now. Looks like Shawn's winning. If folks are asking, everybody everybody's going to look at the wide receiver. I'm not surprised by that by way of a poll at all. Fact of the matter is, I kind of lean with Chris with the wide receiver thing, without getting into why. I'll leave that alone too. But yeah, I think edge, whether Turner or Verse. If it's Verse, I would trade back to get Verse, right? Trade back just a little, try and get something in the second and go Verse. I have no problems. I not only would have no problems doing that, I would think that's a better move than picking Dallas Turner fresh with the 9th pick.
How about we do this, guys? Let's give guys people in the chat the next 5 to 7 minutes to get their votes in. Sounds like Ronald Dunze is about 50% right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see it, but I take you guys' word for it. It's about 5-7 minutes to get those last votes in, and then I guess Chris, you can, if you want, you can put up the tally results. When you want to stop the timer, Chris?
There's no timer. We can just talk a little while, and then here in about at the 120 mark, we'll go ahead and just looks like Adunze is going to run away with it. So just keep in mind, guys.
Who's
you
second?
really never see Dallas Turner is at 21%, Verse is at 14%, and Talise Fuaga's at 7%. I just like to say, if you look at history, and that's a good way to gauge how effective some positions are, you never really see a top tier wide receiver. I mean, you never. How many times have you looked at him and said he's the reason why we're going to win the Super Bowl? I mean, going back to Calvin Johnson, I mean, who's probably the best wide receiver talent we've seen come out in the last 20, 25 years. I mean, Detroit didn't even make the playoffs with him. Now, that's not his fault. But if you look at the history of the draft, even in the last 10 years, all the top receivers in the league right now usually come from the second half of the first round, and even the second and third, even the fourth round. Last year, the best wide receiver out of the draft class was a 5th rounder for the Rams. So, I mean, you can get good wide receivers, impactful wide receivers later in the draft. You have to have somebody who can protect the guy that can get him the ball, and then you pressure the guy on the other team that's throwing the ball to their receivers. That's how you win football. That's how you win championships. You build from the inside out. You've heard it from other people besides me, Bill Parcells, all the greats tell you that. You need to have depth and talent in the trenches.
So I just believe I believe in this, man. I think it's an impossible choice to make, to be honest with you. I don't envy them because there's so many good options there at 9, which I think they're going to be hard pressed to give up that pick. I know a lot of people want to see us trade down and get more on collateral, but I think there's value in getting that blue chip piece. And I'm going to read you a quote that Eberflus said at a recent press spray he did after since they traded Justin. He was asked about the number 9 pick, and this is his quote. He responded, "We're getting a blue chip player there for sure." And so is there any doubt in you guys' mind that we'll trade that pick, or do you believe him when he says it, that we're taking that pick? Because I believe him.
Well, it looks like when he says something, I mean, you got to take him at his word now. I mean, we know it was lion season. We thought he was playing chess. He was playing checkers after all. So, you know, if he says he's going to spend it at 9, I got to believe him. You know, your chances of getting a blue chip player at 9 should be better than that at 13 or 15 or wherever we trade back to. So, you know, I'm just in a holding pattern, man. I'm kind of exhausted speculating.
All right, Chris, is you to hit the 120 mark. You want to go ahead and put the poll up?
Pause.
I know. Oh, Shawn, man, come on, man. All right, we're gonna wrap this up after this, man. But we're gonna while Chris is putting that poll up, man, let's give out some pleasantries before we get out of here, kid.
Well, before you do that, let me just say Fuaga had 11%. Roma Dunze did have 56%. Dallas Turner was 19%, and Jared Verse came in at 14%. Okay.
Does that surprise anybody, guys?
No, not from what everybody loves Roma Dunze, and I think he's a good wide receiver. He's
I
not.
do too.
Yeah, I like him too, but there's a couple of guys I like. A few guys I like better than him.
Yeah,
I'm a big Brian Thomas Jr. fan. I mean, I think that guy is just 6'4", 4'3", strong hands, catches the ball at his peak. I think he was overshadowed a little bit by neighbors, but every time I watched, and I watched some LSU tape last night, and man, every time I watched it, my eyes were on Brian Thomas Jr.
he's definitely my third ranked receiver. I got of course Marvin Harrison, then I got Malik after that. I think those two can be kind of interchangeable depending on who the team is that wants to draft them and how valuable they can be. And then I got Brian Thomas Jr. I think he's as talented as any one of those guys, to be quite honest.
And he's 6'4".
Yes. And runs like the wind.
A good big man is better than a good little man.
All right. Guys, let's give some pleasantries around the board real quick before we get up out of here, man. It's a good show.
Man, no maniacs. Thanks for rocking out with us on a Friday. It was awesome kicking it and chopping it up with these gentlemen here. I'm going to call them something else, but gentlemen will suffice for today.
Thank you.
In any event, it's always fun. Always fun. Lots of action in the chat. Lots of movement. Lots of questions. Lots of comments. We appreciate them all. Thanks for the super chats and the support via That Means King Booker, Oliver Chapman, FSG style. Lots of good stuff coming from you here today. Illinois Jones, Eric Christensen, Jay Grizz, Jay Sanders, Ron Winarski. Good looking out to all you guys, and thanks for representing with us once more on a Friday. Chris, I'll throw it over to you. For the rest of the world, bear down.
Yep, thanks to everybody who came out and supported us. Like Kedz said, be sure and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, turn on your notifications, and don't forget to share. Don't forget to go over to the SuperBack's page, Sports Zone Chicago. Light him up with subscriptions, man. Support this brother. Great content, great brother to have in front of you. He's a library of information, and I always learn something. Bishop, good to see you again, my friend. Kedz, as always, my brother, love you. Nomad, love you. Brian in the back, great job. Listen, everybody, bear down. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe.
For the sake of time this afternoon, I want to say thank you to everybody in the chat, the No Maniacs, the Sports Zoners. Once again, thank you for chiming in, hanging out with us for a little over an hour again today. We do appreciate it. Again, make sure you guys hit the like button on your way out. To my brothers on the panel, as always, great to sit up and chop up Bears football with you guys. We got a chance to get some good laughs in today on a Friday. It's always good to laugh, man. It's good for the soul. So with that being said, before I check up out of here, I just want to say to everybody in the chat and everybody who's watching, and all to my faithfuls as always chiming in and watching from afar, thank you very much. But to everybody, have a very safe Easter weekend. Shawn, to you, brother.
Sports owners and No Maniacs Unite. Thank you for tuning in. We love the support. We appreciate the support. And just echo the sentiments. Make sure you follow Sports Zone Chicago's YouTube channel along with the Nomad Network's YouTube channel. Please do us that favor. And have a great Easter weekend. All right. Make it fun, make it enjoyable, make it memorable. Even if it's just hanging with your family, doing nothing, playing cards, playing bones, playing whatever, playing loteria, playing whatever. These are all memories that you're making because you know what? At some point in time, memories are all we're going to have. All right. Have a phenomenal Easter weekend. And bear down, baby. Bear down.
Ditto to everything everybody said, man. Love you guys so much, man. Appreciate all the support, man. It's just fun doing these shows, especially with having you guys here that's involved in the chat, man. They make it so fun, make it so easy to do these shows because they keep us busy and keep us occupied with the mind all the time. I want to say something to you guys before we get out of here, man. Do what you do, whatever it is, organically. What do I mean by that? If you do everything by organics, that means doing everything from the heart and never respecting anything in return. You just do it because you're a good person and you intend good things for other people, then good things will grow. Flowers will grow from that, man. So whatever you're doing, make sure you're doing it organically, man. And I think, whenever someone needs help, you know what I mean? Like, I got things in my home. I have things in my home that I could sell them to people, but I hold on to certain things just in case someone needs them, and so that I can give it to somebody that needs that help. And so for me, that's organic, just giving stuff to people instead of expecting a dollar amount in return. So just do things organically, man, and flowers come to you, man. But with that being said, I see Chris stepped up in here. Chris, you got anything?
Yeah, I'm not gonna let this waste. It looks too good, Shawn.
So that is the shake that they were talking about earlier. Yeah, and I didn't get a chance to because I was a little too happy. Let's just say I definitely had. This is the campfire shake that they were talking about. Yeah, it's a new item at Sox Park this year. So maybe one of the other 2 or 3 games that I go to the rest of the year, I'm gonna grab one of those.
That is way too much sugar, man.
Yeah, that looks like diabetes.
Man, if I take that down, I'm gonna just drive straight on to the ER, man. I ain't gonna stop nowhere. Just go.
Hilarious
that's why
joke
you
about
share
it, but I gotta hold it until
green room.
Post credit. I'll save that for you guys in the green room.
See, if you take your significant other, you can share. You can share it. You both have diabetes.
No,
see?
man.
Sharing is caring.
I'm not gonna do that to myself nor my significant other. Shame on you, Shawn, for that. But before we get out of here, man, I gotta say something to you guys. You guys do enjoy your weekend, and those who celebrate Easter, please enjoy that resurrection. And before we get out of here, I gotta leave you with these famous words: love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Puerto Rico.
Shy City, stand up.